Thank you so much for joining us. We'll go ahead and start today's class in a comfortable seated position with your back maybe up against the back of the chair, allowing your shoulders to relax as you place your hands on your lap of the chair. Maybe you close your eyes, or maybe you simply soften your gaze today as we allow ourselves to start to slow down. We'll take a deep inhale, slowly filling our lungs with air. And then we'll exhale slowly with intention. We'll continue this slow, deep breath as we start to notice the boundaries between our body and the surfaces that we're resting on, maybe at the feet or the legs or even the back. Really allow yourself to feel the definition between what is you and what is supporting you. And then begin to take that awareness and start to draw it inward. Start to bring it in to notice the sensations of the body, to maybe notice the energy level of the body. Noticing any tweaks or twinges or any stories that are there today. Acknowledging them without judgment. And giving them just a little bit of space here. As we come back into that steady breath in and out. The next time you reach the top of your inhale, take it into a pause, the longest hold that you could hold at the top until it feels like you can't hold it anymore without straining, and then exhale. And we'll continue this breathing pattern for a few cycles of breath. Boundaries are important. Giving to others can start to feel like a drug. And we can feel like we're getting high off of taking care of others and being in service. But sometimes we can also give too much of ourselves. So much that it begins to eat away at our heart, at our energy. Sometimes without us even realizing this is happening. We start to put other people's feelings or happiness or even their well-being before our own. But by doing this, we do them and ourselves a great disservice. There is strength in setting boundaries. Know when enough is enough. And when to take a step back, simply rest, refuel, so you can show up to the world as the very best self you can. As we continue with a few more, the breathing exercise, inhale, pause, exhale. Take a moment to see where in your life you feel like you might be giving a little too much of yourself. And as you breathe, notice where boundaries might be needed. Begin to allow our breathing to find its natural flow in and out without changing it or altering it in any way. We'll take a moment to set an intention for our class today. Something that we might like to connect with. Maybe your breath. Maybe the movement. Maybe just a sense of having a little fun today. We'll take a big breath in, and as we exhale, we'll seal that intention in for our practice. And then we'll offer ourselves a little bit of gratitude. We took time out of our busy day to come and connect with ourselves here in the chair. We'll stay right where we are on the chair, but we'll begin to wiggle our fingers and our toes and maybe even flutter the eyes open. And then we're going to start to hinge forward, coming into an embryo pose. We'll curl our chin down towards our chest, and you can either keep your hands on your knees or slide them down your legs if you'd like. Really curling in to just the tiniest shape you can make here. And then start to move through the neck, taking your chin over towards one shoulder and then the other, taking some gentle movement through the spine. Go ahead and bring your neck back through a neutral position. If your hands were lowered, go ahead and slide them back up to the tops of your legs. And then we're going to go ahead and bring our hands behind us. We're going to try to hold onto the chair, either at our hips. We can hold down a little bit lower if that feels better for our arms, or maybe seeing if we can take them up a little bit higher behind us on the chair, opening up through our heart space and rounding the shoulders back. Whichever variation you're choosing. Great job. With that next exhale, walk the hands back towards your hips and then come back up to a straight spine. We'll then scoot ourselves to the edge of our chair so that we can have a little bit more movement in our practice. We'll kind of scoot a little bit to the left, and we'll bring our right hand down to the right side of our chair. You can also dangle it down by the side. We'll start to take our left arm out to the side, being mindful of the shoulder to keep it back as we start to float the hand up in space. You can leave it up high, or you could even rainbow arc it over to the other side, but being mindful not to start to dump that shoulder forward, keeping it back, and then extending the hand to wherever we would like. Keep your left hip, that opposite hip, firmly planted, but notice the way it feels through the rib cage as you lean here. Great job. Come back through center. We'll scoot to the other side. Left hand down. Inhaling, right hand floats up and maybe over. Being mindful to keep the shoulder pulled back. Great job. Inhale to come through center. We're then going to take our knees and we're going to point them to the right. We're going to take our left hand back down by our left hip on the chair. And as we inhale, take it up and over one more time with a little bit of a back lean, backwards lean. And then let's inhale to come up to a straight spine. We're going to bring that right hand inside our legs or outside of our left leg as we begin to twist over towards that left shoulder. Great job. Inhale, let the arms float up as you come back through center and down through a prayer. We'll then walk the feet or knees over to the left side of our space. We'll scoot if we need to. We'll bring that right hand down by the hip. And as we inhale, we lift and float that left hand up and over, maybe even a little back. Great job. Inhale to come back through center. Walk the knees back through to a mountain pose. And then we're going to lift our right knee up. We're going to bring the foot off the floor. We're going to take a few circles with that right ankle. Fast or slow, go at your own pace. And then let's reverse it. And then let's take it out to in a couple of times. Noticing how that outer hip is feeling. And then let's take it in about 2 circles with the knee in one direction. And then about 2 circles with the knee in the opposite direction. Great job. Go ahead and let that knee come back and foot come back down to the ground. We'll inhale, lift the left leg. We'll hold on at the knee or behind the leg. We'll take those ankle circles. Sitting up tall through the spine. Don't forget not to round. And then let's reverse those ankle rolls. Great job. We'll start to find that left to right movement with the left leg. And then when you're ready, starting to take that into a circle of some sort, big or little. You're doing great. After about 2 times around, switch it to the other way. Great job. Go ahead and bring those knees back down to the ground. With our next inhale, we're going to walk those knees over to the right one more time. But this time I want you to imagine your torso is turning back straight. So there's a little twist through the spine. As we inhale, we're going to start to lean forward. You can keep your hands on your lap or just like before, maybe reaching down towards the floor or maybe even a prop. Noticing how having your knees turned to the side might change where you're feeling the stretch. You can also curl your chin to your chest again. Great job. With our next inhale, rise up to a straight spine. We're going to take that twist into an open hand twist, bringing our right hand inner or outer, and then taking that left hand back behind us. Great job. Come back through center. Walk the knees to the left. Straight spine through center with a twist in the lower half of the body. Our exhale, we begin to hinge forward over those legs. Again, hands can stay on your lap or maybe reach down towards something. With our next inhale, we'll come back up to a straight spine and then take our open-handed twist. Great job. Let's go ahead and come back through center. We'll walk the knees in through our seated mountain. We'll inhale to let our arms float up and overhead. And with our next exhale, I want us to hinge forward and come into some airplane arms, letting your palms face down as your hands start to float behind you. Squeezing the shoulder blades together, squeezing the pinkies towards each other. They're going to never come anywhere near each other. We're just squeezing through the back body, opening through our heart. Beautiful airplane pose. Inhale, let those arms float back up and overhead. And with our exhale, we'll bring it down through a prayer pose. Great job. We'll bring our hands to our lap. We're going to take just a couple more seated poses before we come up to standing today. So we're going to start by bringing our right thigh to a supported position, letting our left leg hang off. And then we're going to take our left leg out long to the side. Now, if the heel can come down, that is welcome, but not necessary. And we're gonna turn our torso. We're gonna turn that left hip like we're facing straight on with that bent front knee that's being supported by the chair. This is a warrior one position with support of our chair. And as we inhale, you can keep your hands on your chair, maybe bring them to a prayer. Maybe you start to lift them up in the air in a warrior two or warrior one. Great job. With our next exhale, we're going to hinge forward and find those airplane arms. Squeezing the pinkies together, engaging through your core as you lean forward. Great job. Take this at your own pace for just a couple cycles of breath. Inhaling through a warrior one, exhaling airplane arms. Find a little bit of flow in your movement, but knowing that you don't need to go fast, you're doing great. The next inhale, we're going to pause with those arms up and overhead. And then like you're playing a guitar with the left hand, let it come down, strumming the side of your hip. You can either let it rest on your hip, or you can reach it down that left leg as we start to reverse our seated warrior. Great job. Inhale to come back through a straight spine. And then we're going to take it over to the left side. So we'll shift on our hips so that the left leg is supported. Starting to send that right foot back and long. Maybe the heel comes down. And then purposefully turning our hips so they're in line with that front leg. And then maybe lifting the arms or finding another placement that feels good for your body in this moment. Warrior one is such a strong pose. Even on the chair, you might be feeling the shape in different parts of your body. Exhale, airplane arms. Start to find that flow at your own pace. Match your breath to your movement. Inhale to rise, maybe even adding that extended pause there. And then exhale to hinge. Inhale to rise, maybe pausing. Exhale to hinge. Take it at your own pace. Last one, reach it up. Our exhale finds warrior, reverse your warrior. Hand on the hip and then slide it down. Great job. Inhale through our seated mountain. And then let's find our way on up to a standing position. Now for this first one, you're always welcome to stay close to your prop. If you'd like just a little bit of added support, or maybe coming away from it, we want to keep our feet just a little bit wider than hip distance. And then we'll start to let our arms float up. Now you can keep them wide apart. You can start to bring them closer together. You can even let them touch if that feels good for your body. We're going to start to imagine ourselves slowly taking a hula hoop around our hips. As we inhale, we take it back. As we exhale, we push our belly forward. Take it at your pace, but match your breath to your movement. Going really slow here as you feel yourself moving all throughout the body. Ankles, maybe feeling the boundary of the floor and your feet. Noticing your knees and hips, your abdomen and rib cage, maybe even your shoulders, neck, arm and hands. And then go ahead and pause and slowly reverse it, taking it in the other direction. All right, with our next exhale, allow the hands to float down if you had them lifted. And from here, we're going to bring a little bend into that right knee. You can maybe even start to lift it off the floor for a little balance challenge. And then as we set the heel down, we're going to kick it out in front of us and peel the toes back. Start to bend through your opposite leg. And you can bring your hands onto your body somewhere or onto your prop. You want to feel this through the back of the calf, maybe a little bit in the thigh or the shin as we pull our toes back towards our calf. And for a little added support, you can just bring it up against your prop as well. Great job. Inhale back to mountain. Shift the weight, begin to lift the left heel, peeling the toes off the mat, maybe even lift them a little bit. And then exhale, heel comes down, toes peel up, bending through that opposite leg as we find our stretch through that left calf. Great job. Let's inhale to come back through our mountain. Stay for your exhale. Maybe take a moment with your intention just to revisit it for a moment. And then as you're ready, inhale, lift the arms, letting one or both float up high. And then with our exhale, let's hinge into our forward fold, bringing a deep bend into the body, letting the head start to drip down towards the floor. Your hands can stay on your prop. They can grab opposite elbow and start to find a little bit of movement, swaying from side to side. Sliding the jaw left to right, shaking the head yes and maybe no. Take any movement that feels good here. And then with our next exhale, we're going to release the hands back to our prop, no matter if we took opposite elbow or not. And we'll start to find a little bit of stillness. We'll then begin to walk our hands over to the right side of our space on our chair or prop. And we're going to bend through the left leg and start to take our right hand out to the side, taking it into a twist back behind us. Beautiful job. Let's exhale. Bring your hands back down to the prop. Walk them through center over to the left. Begin to bend that right knee and lift the left arm behind you. Feeling your twist. Beautiful job. Exhale to release through your forward fold. Sinking it in for just one more breath. And then take a slow roll coming all the way up to your tall mountain. Great job. Now we're either going to keep both hands lifted or maybe bring one or both to a prop. And we're going to start to lift the right heel and then lower it. And then we're going to lift the left heel and then lower it. And then you can go back and forth, left to right, or maybe even come up onto a toe stand if that feels steady in your body. Beautiful job. Let's bring both heels down to the ground. You can lower your arms if they're lifted. Go ahead and hold on to your prop. As we rock back into our heels, we'll start to peel the toes off the ground, maybe even the balls of the feet. Great job. Go ahead and bring that back down to a flat foot position. From here, we're going to take it out wide as feels comfortable today. We're going to turn the toes out and the heels in. And as we inhale, we're going to take it into a 5-pointed star, taking up as much space here as we possibly can, pointing fingers and toes in opposite directions. You're doing a great job. Let's go ahead and exhale. Take your heels in line with the toes, and then we're going to start to hinge and forward fold. Now you can keep your hands out to a T, or you can bring them onto your prop for a little bit of support. Once we get to that halfway point, we're going to pause. And then we're going to take our right hand, or like a We're gonna take our arms like a propeller and we're gonna swivel that right hand down towards our prop as we swivel our left hand back behind us. And then exhale, switch sides. Keep the arms long and straight here. And if bending at halfway doesn't feel right for your body, you can always come up to the higher part of your chair. And we'll take this left to right at your own pace. Twisting, using those arms wide and straight like a propeller. Going as fast or as slow as your body wants to twist here. You're doing a great job. Last time on each side. Come back through a T, half lift. And with your exhale, allow yourself to hinge into a forward fold. If you're feeling it strongly in the back of the knees, add a gentle bend into the knees. With our next inhale, we'll press into our hands, lifting halfway. And then let's take it up to our 5-pointed star. Beautiful job. Go ahead and drop the hands and step it into your mountain pose. Great job. From our mountain pose, we're going to step our right foot back into that warrior one. So the toes go out, the heel comes in, and then we turn our hips to face the front. Bending through that front knee a little or a lot. Your hands can stay on your props. Come to a prayer, or as always, lift up high. One or both. Now we want to make sure we're squeezing our thighs, pulling them in towards our abdomen and pulling our abdomen in towards our spine, really keeping this active through the lower body. Great job. Your hands are lifted. We're going to start to, well, either way, we'll start to hinge forward. We'll come into airplane arms, or if you're having your hands on the chair, you'll lean your heart forward and slide your hands down the chair. Inhale to come back to your up position. Exhale to hinge airplane arms. Take it at your speed. Last time we inhale. And then let's take it into our reverse warrior. Right hand comes to right hip or slides down the back leg. Your front hand can stay on your prop or lift up overhead. Great job. Let's come back through center, step the back foot in, and then we'll take it to the left side, warrior one. Build that strong foundation. Exhale, airplane arms. Start to find your flow. Great job. Last time. Inhale up. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Inhale to come back through center. And then let's start to step that back foot in. Beautiful job. Alrighty, for our next position, we're going to find a tabletop position. You're always welcome to take it at the high setting or the low setting, whichever feels better. But we'll start to set up our wrists in line with our shoulders, our heels in line with our hips, in a straight line from our hips all the way to the top of our head. The next inhale, I want you to shift over to your left foot, lifting your right heel and starting to slide those right toes behind you. You can keep them on the mat and maybe start to lift them off just a little bit into a three-legged tabletop. And then we're going to bend through that right knee and start to take a little bit of circles here. Now you can take them as wide or as small as you'd like. And then go ahead and reverse it. Great job. Bring it back into your tabletop. And let's take it to the other side. Start to bend through that left knee, sending it back. Bend the knee, lift the foot, hip circles. And then reverse them. Back through center. Release. Go ahead and roll up to your straight spine. Inhale, arms float up, tall mountain. Exhale, let's bring it down through a prayer. Alrighty, we're gonna bring our left side up as close to our prop as feels good. And we're gonna bring our right hand onto that prop. We'll start to send our opposite leg out to the side a little bit. And as we inhale, we're gonna arch up that top arm into a side bend. Exhale, bring it back. And we'll take it in a pulse or in a flow for just a couple of breaths. Inhaling to lean over, exhaling to release it down. Now, as you take this movement, really concentrate on how it feels through the sides of the body. You should have one side that feels like it's contracting, and the other side that feels like the skin in between the rib bones is spreading apart, maybe. Great job. Last time on this side. And then release. We'll switch sides. Again, maybe sliding that outer foot out a little bit for support or keeping it close in. Inhale and find our arch. Exhale to release. Find a little bit of flow here, matching your breath to your movement as you explore this side stretch. You're doing a wonderful job. Last time on this side. Exhale to release. Great job. We're going to come through our mountain pose. And with our next exhale, we're going to start to sink into a chair pose, bending our knees, sinking into our hips. Now, throughout this flow, if at any point this starts to feel intense, come on out and sink back in when you're ready after a couple breaths or so. All righty. We're doing a great job. We're going to play around with some of those other positions we've tried today, but adding in this chair. So we're going to start by lifting one heel and then the other, going left to right for a couple of cycles. Just noticing how different it feels to take this from this chair position. And then maybe even try coming up onto that toe stand, lifting both heels. Great job. Go ahead and bring those heels down and we'll all root to rise, letting arms soar overhead in a tall mountain. Exhale, bring it down through a prayer. Great job. We're not quite done with those chairs just yet. So with our next exhale, sink it back in. And then with this chair, we're going to take it over to the right side with our hands and open it up into a twist. Taking that one hand out behind you. Great job. Go ahead and come back through center. Walk the hands to the other side of your chair and then open the back hand behind you. Twisting it open. Beautiful. We'll come back through center for one last breath. Sink it in a little bit lower. And then you can either keep your hands on the chairs and slide them down, or maybe take them into that airplane arms one last time. Beautiful job. Inhale, come up to your tall mountain. And maybe take your hands, your gaze up towards your hands, feeling a little bit of a back bend. And then exhale, bring it down through a prayer into your mountain pose. Great job getting in there, getting a little active, maybe getting the heart rate up a little bit. We're gonna come to stand in front of our chair. And just like that chair pose, we're very slowly gonna start to sit down, hovering just off the chair. Maybe going a little bit deeper, holding. And then when we can't hold anymore, go ahead and sit down into your chair. All righty, we're gonna come to the right side of our chair. So our right side is facing the back of the chair. And if you'd like to add a prop like your pillow here, this can add a really nice comfortable element. A blanket would go well as well, or a bolster if you have one. We'll send that top leg out long. We'll bring that front leg, the right leg, the closest to our hip on the chair, into a nice 90-degree bend, supporting us in front of us. With our inhale, we're gonna lengthen the spine. You can keep your right hand supported on the back of the chair, or you could even lean it over the chair if that feels good for you. And we're gonna take our left arm. We're gonna start to let it float up overhead. Maybe even taking it alongside the ear here, feeling like you're reaching your left fingertips as far from your left toes as you possibly can. Great job. And we're not done with our flow just yet. With our next inhale, we're going to bend that extended leg and then hug it in towards our chest with our hand, and then send it back out long. Take it at your own pace for just a couple of cycles. Great job. Exhale, extend. And then let's flip it over to the other side. Extending right leg and right arm when you're ready. Feel that inhale, that extension, fingertips and toes pointing in opposite directions. Exhale and curl. Inhale to extend. Take it at your pace. Last one. Extend it out. Exhale to release. This time we're going to come so our hips are as far back onto our prop if we're using a pillow or a bolster, or back by our chair. We're going to start to lean towards the back of our chair, and then allow your shoulders to open either over the chair or around the side, however feels best for you. You can even just let them open out and hold them at a T, but opening out wide as you lean back towards your chair. Your feet can be hip distance or even wider to help with the balance here, so you don't slip off the front of the chair. Now we want to be mindful of our head, that we're not straining the neck. We're letting it be long and extended. Or if it feels okay for your neck, you could start to let it fall, opening up through the front of the neck in a fish pose. Our next inhale bends the elbows and lets the hands come to support the back of the head. And then as we inhale, we'll use our core to engage as we roll ourselves up to that seated position, seated mountain. The exhale, we continue the rounding. Elbows come towards the torso, chin comes towards chest. Maybe even elbows resting on the knees, but not necessary. We're rounding in here. And then let's inhale to unfurl the spine, coming back up to a straight spine. All right, let's go ahead and take it into a twist. So we'll start to walk the knees over to the right side, just like we did as when we started the practice today. But we're going to turn our torso back to the front. And then if you have that lean, go ahead and lean a little bit back, hips forward, torso back, resting on your chair. And you can keep the legs separate, or if you'd want, you can cross them at the ankles or the knees. That adds a little support to your twist. And then start to take your gaze in the opposite direction of your knees as both shoulders really allow themselves to plant on the chair behind you. Allow yourself 3 slow breaths here. Inhaling fully, maybe even pausing at the top before you exhale and extend your breath. You cross the legs, either at ankles or feet, or ankles or knees, go ahead and uncross them. Begin to slowly walk them to the other side. Bring your torso back through center. Shoulders are resting. Maybe take a cross, ankles or knees, and then start to take your gaze into the opposite direction. And your hands can go anywhere that feels supported. You're welcome to hold on to the chair, bring it to a bind on one of your knees, or let them rest on your lap. Your gaze, although it's looking in the opposite direction to twist your head, you're always welcome to come back into a soft gaze, a blurry gaze, or closed eyes as we take these restorative poses. Beautiful job. With our next inhale, walk those feet back through center. Allow the knees to fall open as the feet come together in a butterfly pose. We're going to take the arms out wide and then allow them to cross one over the other as you give yourself a hug here. And then drop your chin to your chest. Just noticing how it feels to open up through that space that we spent so much time crunching today in those airplane poses. Allow each exhale, let you feel a little heavier in your space. Like those boundaries between your body and the surfaces that are supporting you will start to melt at any moment. Inhale to open the arms wide, maybe lift the chin, and then go ahead and cross them with the opposite arm on top, dropping the chin down towards the chest. Taking a couple breaths here. Allowing all that juicy hip work that we did today to integrate as we breathe here. Inhale, arms open wide, and then let them come down by the knees, bringing the knees together in your seated mountain. We'll inhale to come up to a straight spine once more, taking those arms up and overhead, and with our exhale, we'll hinge into one last forward fold. Hands or elbows on the legs or reaching down towards the feet. We curl our chin into chest. We make ourselves into the tightest ball shape we possibly can. And then we're going to start to create a little tension in our body by squeezing our hands, squeezing our feet, and starting to squeeze all the muscles of our body that we can control in this moment, squeezing them as tightly as we can until we can't create any more pressure, any more space, any more tension. And then on your exhale, explode out into a full body stretch. Once again, taking up as much space as you possibly can. Beautiful job. Allow everything to melt. And we'll come into our final resting pose. As always, you're welcome to take any additional poses on your way there. You're welcome to stay in your chair or find something a little bit more comfortable. So you could add pillows or blankets, maybe even a sweater or some socks if you're feeling a little chilly tonight. As we settle in, we'll find any stillness, or at least what looks like stillness for us today. I invite you to close your eyes, or maybe simply to soften your gaze. With your next inhale, pause at the top. Take in one more sip of air. And then with your exhale, feel yourself transitioning inward, creating this incubated space for you to find a little stillness, a little calmness. We won't alter our breath. Instead, we'll let it become slow and steady, naturally. We'll once again notice those boundaries between the surfaces that are supporting us and our own bodies. We will end today's practice with a loving kindness meditation. This meditation is designed to bring a little warmth and goodwill into your life. Allow your breath to relax and soften you. And when you're ready, bring to mind a person or any living being who naturally makes you smile. It might be someone you've thought of in this meditation before, or maybe someone new to this experience tonight. But this being naturally makes you smile. This being truly brings happiness into your heart. Let yourself remember what it feels like to be in this being's presence, to be in their good company and enjoy it. We'll take just a moment to recognize how vulnerable this person or being is, just like you. This being wishes to be happy and free from suffering, just like you and every other being on earth. We'll begin to repeat softly and gently, feeling the importance of your words, our loving kindness verse, picturing our loved one in our mind as we send them wishes. May you be safe. May you be peaceful. May you live with ease. May you be healthy. And once again, we'll say, may you be safe, wishing them loving kindness. May you be peaceful. May you be healthy May you live with ease. Anytime you notice your mind has started to wander, gently guide it back to the images of your loved one in your mind, savoring any feelings of warmth that may arise. Now let's begin to add ourselves to this circle of goodwill, offering ourselves and our loved one the same loving kindness frame. May you and I be safe. May you and I be peaceful. May you and I be healthy. May you and I live with ease. And again, really allowing the intention of our words to flow. May you and I be safe. May you and I be peaceful. May you and I be healthy. May you and I live with ease. We'll start to extend our loving kindness verse to maybe all those we love, or maybe strangers. We can add anyone to this circle of loving kindness tonight that we would like to. May we all be safe. May we all be peaceful. May we all be healthy. May we all live with ease. May we all be safe. May we all be peaceful. May we all be healthy. May we all live with ease. Now we begin to visualize our whole body in our mind's eye, all by itself. Visualizing any stress or uneasiness that may be lingering within you or around you these last few days. And we'll offer this loving kindness directly to ourselves. May I be safe. May I be peaceful. May I live with ease. And whisper it in your mind one more time. May I be safe. May I be peaceful. May I be healthy. May I live with ease. Now taking a few breaths and allowing yourself to rest quietly in your own body, savoring the goodwill and kindness that flows naturally to you, knowing that you can return to these phrases not only anytime your heart desires, but also when you need support, setting boundaries. It can feel like we're letting someone down when we set boundaries. And saying a loving kindness verse, this one I've offered today or any other, can really be a good tool, offering both loving kindness to the other person and to yourself as you set the boundaries. Taking just a few last breaths now. We'll take the deepest breath of our day so far as we bring our awareness back to the boundaries between our body and the surfaces that are supporting them. And then take that awareness even more detailed as you notice the clothes and the boundary between your skin and the clothes you are wearing. And then as you're ready, start to wiggle fingers and toes, fluttering the eyes open. And in your own time, in your own way, coming to an upright position facing me. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today.